So RBA agent Rich Paul, who I love to call Broke Paul or Poor Paul, and I didn't give him the name Broke Paul or Poor Paul because he's broke or for financial reasons, because money don't make you rich. Your thoughts and your ignorant mindset, the lack of knowledge, uneducated, and lack of understanding can make you broke all at the same time. But Rich Paul and the Clutch Sports camp are starting to read the writings on the walls, written in all bold capital letters that says, LeBum, your time with the Lakers is done. But Rich Paul, LeBron James, and the Clutch Sports camp are now reading in between the lines, although they might be reading the words upside down, since that's how LeBron James like to read his books, upside down. But they're now starting to wake up and smell the Starbucks coffee. They say it ain't over till the fat lady starts singing. It appears as though Big Bertha has now been hitting them high notes as loud as possible. But Rich Paul and La Insecure James are more angry than Angry Birds, going off raging that the Lakers, in addition to the sports media, are ready to move on from LeBron James. But here's what Rich Paul had to say. This article is per Total Pro Sports, and the headline reads, Rich Paul sends blunt message to the RBA media over their obsession with LeBron James as retirement looms. The article goes on to say, LeBron James prepares for his 23rd RBA season, hence speculation is swirling around whether this could be his final chapter. There have been past reports suggesting James might continue playing until his youngest son, Bryce James, makes it to the league. However, the 40-year-old superstar has kept his true intentions close to the chest. This uncertainty has sparked a media frenzy. It goes on to say, LeBron's longtime agent and close friend Rich Paul recently appeared on Sirius XM RBA Radio, where he took a direct shot at the media. Paul argued that the coverage has gone beyond reasonable curiosity and turned into an unhealthy obsession. He went on to say, quote, when LeBron James retires, they, as in the media, will have to find a new boogeyman to hate on just to chase likes and boost ratings, end quote. I mean, what a douchebag. Who do you guys think you are? But Rich Paul and the Clutch Sports camp are now experiencing a super humbling moment. These guys have been so narcissistic, so arrogant, so egotistical, thinking they're all high and mighty, moving like they were bigger than the program, and that each franchise should bend to their needs and commands. But now Rich Paul and LeBron James, they're acting out. They're acting like spoiled brats because they're not getting what they want. Because at first, it was about LeBron James being upset because he felt that the Los Angeles Lakers weren't going in the right direction for supposedly not valuing him for all that he's done with the Los Angeles Lakers. So what all this is about is that Rich Paul, LeBron James, and the Clutch Sports camp, they're bitter and butthurt that the Los Angeles Lakers won't extend LeBron James' contract, because LeBron James is going to try to continue to stay around and keep the franchise stagnant by drafting both of his sons and making it all about LeBron James instead of winning. But now Rich Paul and the Clutch Sports camp, they have fallen far from grace. Apparently, the Illuminati is done with LeBron James, allegedly. No more blood sacrificing your so-called friends, allegedly. No more selling out to break the all-time scoring record, allegedly. Or just breaking records in general, allegedly. The media, who has shown major favoritism and has glazed LeBron James ever since he very first entered the RBA. See, Rich Paul and LeBron James have their heads so far up there behind that they don't even understand that the league existed before LeBron James, and the media will continue to cover other players without LeBron James. But LeBron James' time with the media has now expired like some spoiled milk, and Rich Paul and LeBron James know that. They know that without the machine, there's no leg to stand on in the GOAT debate. They have rubbed some very powerful people the wrong way. It's over for LeBron James. It's been downhill ever since LeBron James stepped to Stephen A.Smith. And you know that all these media pundits are really good friends, and they want for LeBron James to crash out so he can expose himself for the real monster that he is, and he can act out, and the public can see this man for who he really is. See, they could no longer control public perception and continue to mislead the masses into thinking that LeBron James is greater than what he really is. Now people will be able to think for themselves with the rise of social media. They will have to form their own opinions about LeBron James. See, LeBron James and the Clutch Sports camp, they've been so big-headed and on their high horse that they never saw this day coming. They believe that LeBron James is the heart of the RBA. As if without LeBron James that the game can't survive. Like, who do you think you are? They are so delusional that they believe that the game isn't going to move forward and continue without LeBron James. But if anything, if all else fails, we at least have Bronny James, aka LeBron James Jr., who will probably still be around for about roughly 2 months after LeBron James retires. So at least we'll be able to rely on him to keep boosting the ratings, and we could roast Bronny for at least 2 months. That's at least until Bryce James, LeBron James III, comes into the RBA. See, Rich Paul, they think that in order for the RBA to generate views, that everybody has to talk about LeBron James 24/7. I mean, if the game was able to move on with the biggest marketing star in the world in Michael Jordan, you don't think that the game will go on without LeBron James? LeBron James was manufactured instead of everything happening organically. Everything about his story was scripted. Now the media is going to be forced to talk about other RBA players. It's nothing more that LeBron James can do for the league. He's not winning any more RBA championships. He got to play with his sons. They scripted the 3-1 comeback. We seen him advance to 10 straight RBA finals. We've seen him stay around for 20 plus years to break an all-time scoring record that somehow no other player in RBA history was able to break, except for the bionic LeBron James, with the help of steroids allegedly, with the help of PEDs allegedly. He has appeared in just about every all-star game. It's nothing more that the league can do for LeBron James. They create this obsessive mindset, but then when they're done being obsessed, Rich Paul and his team get upset. They are the ones who created this obsession. You didn't have a problem with the obsession when they were only saying great things about LeBron James, but you bit the hand that fed you. They'll just find another player who is going to boost the TV ratings. ESPN ran LeBron James' name in the news cycle 24/7. They purposely repeated LeBron James' name over and over as a hypnosis to program people to buy in to LeBron James so that fans buy up all the tickets and trick them into watching just to boost the ratings. So they basically prostituted LeBron James to make billions of dollars. He's a corporate whore. His talent never warranted him being talked about 24/7 or even being sold as the next MJ. But you're nothing like MJ and not even close, LeBron James. And lastly, he talking about they ain't gonna be able to talk about the boogeyman. The boogeyman? Who's the boogeyman? Only boogeyman I know is DeMarcus Cousins. Boogeyman. If LeBron James is the boogeyman, then there's absolutely nothing to be scared of. You don't even have to hide under your covers.